Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Another controversial message from Somalia's president. Where will it end? The rhetoric being launched by the two sides, inflammatory speeches, controversial interpretation of history, living in the past, the two sides. Where will it end? What did Hassan Sheikh say a few hours ago in a speech? Secondly, Egypt has written a letter to the UN Security Council about Ethiopian dam gird. Ethiopia fighting a multi-front battle. Is Ethiopia responsible for opening so many fronts? Who is responsible, Ethiopia or those who are challenging Ethiopia? Let's start from Somalia, where the president of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh, a few hours ago spoke, and whenever he speaks, he does not forget to talk about Ethiopia. Same is happening in Ethiopia too. That Task Selassie, Ethiopian foreign minister spokesperson, other ministers, they are hitting out. They're hitting at Somalia's government. Hassan Sheikh accused Ethiopia. By the way, 2 days ago, Task Selassie, Ethiopian foreign minister, said that Ethiopia has not forgotten 1977 invasion of Ethiopia by Somalia. It will never be erased from the minds of Ethiopians. Before that, Ahmed Fiki, Somalia's foreign minister, said that in 2006, Ethiopian forces killed more than 20,000 Somalis. Now it's Hassan Sheikh's turn to speak. Hassan Sheikh today raised another point. He's digging up the past. What did he say? He said that Ethiopia occupied Somalia's territories. This issue is unsolved. So now new issues are cropping up, or new issues are being highlighted. New issues are being raised by the two groups. Ethiopia talking about 1977, Somalia talking about 2006, and some past grievances. So Hassan Sheikh said that Ethiopia occupied Somalia's territories in the past. Issue is unsolved. What does it mean? It means Hassan Sheikh is saying that Ethiopia is in occupation of Somalia's territories. Secondly, he said that Ethiopia now wants to annex more Somali territories. The MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland is termed as annexation by the government of Somalia. Obviously, Hassan Sheikh was not talking about Ethiopia-Somalia border. That's what I understood. Maybe if Ethiopian troops don't withdraw from the border areas, and if regional governments support Ethiopian troops, the government of Somalia in Mogadishu would accuse Ethiopian troops of annexing Somalia's territories on border too. But mainly, I think the reference is to the MOU. That Ethiopia wants to build a naval base, it wants to gain access to a port. Basically, it wants to annex Somalia's territories. Somaliland, Somalia calls it part of Somalia. That's internationally recognized part of Somalia. But Ethiopia has now appointed a full ambassador to Somaliland. Third, he said that Ethiopia cannot gain access to sea by force. Other, he said Somalia won't allow Ethiopia to gain access to sea by force. So he reiterated Somalia's position that by force, Ethiopia cannot gain access to sea. What does it mean that cannot gain access? It means that Somalia says it will resist, it will fight, it will do whatever it can, it won't agree to the implementation of the MOU. So it's basically a declaration of war that that Somalia will do whatever it can, including waging of war to stop the Ethiopian attempt to gain access to sea through Somalia. Almost on daily basis, we're seeing such statements. Both countries digging up the past, talking about past grievances. Uh, their talks could not lead to a breakthrough. Mediators trying, but some mediators have their own access to grind, like Djibouti, like Kenya. They want Ethiopian cargo to be diverted to their ports. How will it end? I'm at a loss, but no signs of de-escalation so far. Dialogue did not work. No signs of any breakthrough. Egyptian entry is complicating the matter. Adding fire to the fuel, you can say, is Egyptian entry, military entry. Before the start of UN, before the start of Afghan peacekeeping mission, Egyptian military entry is complicating the matter. Somalia, obviously, now has support of Egyptian troops, military equipment. Turkey is supporting Somalia too. Somalia getting more allies, allies supporting Somalia openly, publicly, practically. Ethiopia faced with some difficult choices. Let's see. Meanwhile, Egypt, Somalia's ally, has written a letter to the UN Security Council. The Foreign Ministry of Egypt confirmed that this letter has been written to the UN Security Council about Ethiopian dam GERD. The fifth filling of the dam is the one of the points raised by Egyptian Foreign Ministry. The ministry says that Ethiopia is unilaterally filling the dam, which is a violation of international law. So Egypt won't sit idle. It will protect its sovereignty. It will protect its existence. River Nile cannot be allowed to be controlled by a country. What Ethiopia is doing is a violation of international law. That is why international community, UN Security Council must intervene to stop Ethiopia from making unilateral moves and force Ethiopia to sign or convince Ethiopia to talk to the parties to the issue and sign a legally binding agreement. The two, Ethiopia, Egypt, have held several rounds of talks in the past. Some countries try to mediate between them. Ethiopia does not want to sign a legally binding agreement with Egypt. It wants to share only the operational data of dam with Egypt. Egypt wants a legally binding agreement. Egypt and Sudan teamed up to stop Ethiopia from constructing, filling the dam. Sudan is now fighting an internal civil war. Egypt alone, but Egypt has found a new ally now. That is Somalia. Egyptian military entry in Somalia should also be understood in the context of what is happening between Ethiopia and Egypt over GERD. GERD is where Ethiopia can put real pressure on Egypt. It's the lifeline, River Nile, the lifeline of Egypt. By the way, Egypt warned in this letter that it will take whatever measures it is allowed to take under international law, under UN Charter, to protect its existence, to ensure its existence and protect its sovereignty. So it's a warning, basically. Which steps will Egypt take? Will it go to the extent of waging war on Ethiopia? Will it pack Ethiopian disgruntled elements, Ethiopian armed groups? Will it intervene in Ethiopia through Somalia? Will it fuel Ethiopia Somalia conflict? Will it back Somalia against Ethiopia? Lots of options Egypt has available, but you saw today Hassan Sheikh accused Ethiopia of being in occupation of Somalia's territories. Egypt writing a letter to the UN vowing to take action against Ethiopia. Regional picture is very clear now that Egypt, Somalia, Eritrea on one page, Sudan fighting an internal war, Ethiopia in the region is finding it difficult to have an ally, Djibouti wants to retain Ethiopian business, but Djibouti's offer is said to be rejected by Ethiopia. Ethiopia is short of allies, definitely. Alone, it's fighting on multiple fronts. Who is to blame? It's the Prime Minister of Ethiopia who launched this new narrative of access to sea last year. And after that, regional politics took a serious change, and regional foreign policy saw a major shift.
dadka Soomaaliyeed waa og yihiin caalamkuna waa og yahay 1960kii laga soo bilaabo ilaa iyo 1990kii Ethiopia anaga dhul ku sheeganaynay iyo dad Soomaaliyeed anaga maqanaan lahayn dalka Soomaaliya xuduudihiisa marka laga baxo dad Soomaaliyeed meesha ugu badan ay ku nool yihiin waa Ethiopia dadkaasaan xuquuqdooda iyo danahooda daba taagnayn muddadaas maanta waa nasiib darro Ethiopia inay iska dhaadhiciso kuwaas inay meel inta dhigatay ay dalkii xorta ahaayo shalay ay u soo noqotay tiracadaan ka goosanaya maanta horta dadka Soomaaliyeed waxa inay fahmaan arab waa intaas jamhuuriyaddii Soomaaliya ee 1960kii dhalatay ayay Ethiopia maanta daba joogtay leedahay cadaan ka goosanaya horeyna uma ayan dhicin maantana ma dhacayso Soomaaliyoon dawlad lahayn Soomaaliyoon xadaaradii ilbaxa maanta ay leedahay aan lahayn qabaa'il degan ah ayaa diiday Ethiopia inay dhulkana qaadato badan xoog ku gaarto maanta badan xoog ku gaaraa waa dariim waa riyo aan rumoobeen waana lagu soo tijaabiyay badeena horaana lagu soo tijaabiyay nalooga mana guuleysan tanna looga guuleysan maayo Soomaaliya waa dal xeeb dheer leh oo ku yaal qaaradda Afrika dalalka adduunyada siday u macaamilaan inaan u macaamilnaan diyaar u nahay nalama khasbi karo dhulkeenna nalagama khasban karo waxa laga rabana nalagama khasban karo haddaan anaga raalli ka ahayn oo sida aan anagu u rabno aanan loo sameeynayn oo nidaam iyo sharci iyo xeer la yaqaano caalami ah dhexdiisa aan lagu shaqeynayn Ethiopia shalay qaanuunka international law-ga ee caalamka jiro ayay dhinac martay maanta markii hal wada hadal la yarina wali way diidan tahay qaanuunka caalamiga inuu ku soo noqoto oo qawaaniinta caalamiga dhexdeeda aan ku wada xaajoonno